Fellow Cameroonians, today title for our podcast is A Message to Issa Tchiroma. All Cameroonians at home and abroad, especially our Anglophone brothers, supporters of justice, you are all welcome to this people's platform, the People's Right Advocacy Platform, PRAP. I am the chairman, Capo Daniel. As you all know, the inauguration of Paul Biya has come and gone. Despite the well-documented irregularities of the election, the United States of America have congratulated Paul Biya, basically recognizing him and legitimizing him as the president of Cameroon. The Chinese government of Xi Jinping have also sent message of congratulation. The major powers have recognized Paul Biya. All international players have now recognized him as the legitimate president of Cameroon, despite the backdrop of the irregularities in the elections and the proof of fraud and the challenge of Issa Tchiroma. So it is no longer a question about who is the president of Cameroon or who will be the president of Cameroon. It is now an issue of will Issa Tchiroma overpower Paul Biya, overthrow the government, or accept the reality of what we face now on the ground. It is very important that we are based on truth. We are truthful with our people, and we are able to hold everybody accountable so that we can make life better for our people. Here in PRAP, as we discuss with the members and our network who support us and listen to us, we believe it is our duty. Our duty is to the Cameroon people, not just to the international community to a greater extent, and their genuine desire for change. We stand with the Cameroon people desire for change. That is why we made a choice to support Issa Tchiroma even when people were doubting him, and to put pressure so that he should be recognized as a legitimate contender to Paul Biya. Issa Tchiroma has promised not to let the people down who massively voted for him in this past presidential election, and we are obligated to believe him and to give him the benefit of doubt. And that has come and that has gone. Paul Biya have been inaugurated. We supported Issa Tchiroma not because we believe or we think he is flawless or the plan that he has put forth is flawless, but it's because we saw the potential in him to stand up for the people in a principled way that is unprecedented in Cameroon history and landscape. We believed that strongly before, and we believe that today. Now, we believe that Issa Tchiroma must bring the kind of leadership in Cameroon, and he has the responsibility to bring the kind of leadership in Cameroon that does not just listen to his followers and what the people in Cameroon in general want or wish for, but the type of leadership that truly listens to what the people need in these trying times. And he needs wisdom, he needs support, he needs prayers in this task that lie in front of him. So now I want to send a public message directly to Issa Tchiroma. This is a message we are sending to Issa Tchiroma. It is time to truly act as a leader who puts the people's welfare first. A real leader does not just echoes what the people wish for. He does not just reflect what they wish for. He must assess the reality and put forth a concrete plan that guides the people towards greater freedom or gradual freedom. We at PRAP have supported you, Issa Tchiroma. We have respected you. We have advised, sent private messages, and supported every initiative you have rolled out with the benefit of the doubt. But we now urge you to lay out a clear action plan within the next week. Something that is tangible for activists to take a look at. Indications. You cannot put everything out, but indications of your plan that Cameroonians can see that the next month or two, you have a plan that they can believe in and that they can follow. If that plan does not come forward, if you do not put that plan, then we must advise our people to find other ways to move on, because life goes on and the struggle for genuine change can't just stand still or hunker down like it has been in the past with John Fru Ndi and to an extent Maurice Kamto. It can't be like that. Yeah, we believe this in our heart, and we believe and we care for the people. That is why initially when the election results, with the preliminary results were coming out, our position was that Issa Tchiroma should negotiate with Paul Biya when an offer was made to him to be the prime minister. Our position was that he should negotiate, because we know that the regime is isolated right now, and if they are not engaged, they will tighten their grip over the Cameroonians people's life, especially in the upcoming legislative election and senatorial elections. The worst of the worst will emerge to represent our people. A new generation of senators, parliamentarians will be handpicked by people like Paul Atanga Nji. The likes of Ngala Gerard and former Fey men will become now the new elites in Cameroon. They will be worse than the ones we have ever seen. They will make the next 7 years or the next president in Cameroon to be worse than what we have ever seen. We know of this danger. That is why we had insisted on negotiation and dialogue between Issa Tchiroma and Paul Biya before the inauguration comes up. We know that it is more difficult to rig parliamentary and senatorial elections than the presidential one that we have witnessed. So, we must prepare our people to face every challenge, including the next elections that are coming up in Cameroon. We must learn from what happened in past opposition. We must learn from the error Maurice Kamto made not to go into elections, and the one that Fru Ndi made not to go into elections. To learn something is something that is hard to swallow, but we must swallow it and learn from that. The hawks in the regimes want to sideline opposition, and their dream is that Issa Tchiroma and his political party should be banned. He should not play into the hands of these extremist regime loyalists who want to ban them, send them arrest warrant, make it impossible for them to participate or engage in the system that is supposed to mean to guarantee livelihood and protection of the Cameroon people. We Cameroonians of Anglophones and Francophones cannot afford to abandon government institutions to the hands of Turks. True leadership means rethinking every approach and foreseeing the future and ensuring that the people's voices are not just heard outside, but are preserved within the system. In the end, the Cameroon people deserve change, and that change would never come if all political parties are banned or political leaders play into the hands of extreme loyalists in the regime so that they are banned and illegitimized. We don't want a scenario of monidem for the FSNC for Issa Tchiroma. Issa Tchiroma, the ball is in your court to show that you are a leader. We hope you will rise up to this occasion. And I pray, today I'm going to the synagogue, I'm going to pray for you, that God give you the wisdom and the courage. We hope that you rise to this occasion and deliver a plan that the Cameroon people can rally behind. A vision of hope in the midst of devastating forgery, cheating that the world have accepted to go along with it. That is the reality we live in. It is a crude war. So, to continue, it is critical to recognize that within the regime, people are already instrumentalizing the head of state image and his office in order to provoke Issa Tchiroma and every Cameroonian in a way that they will fall in the trap that they will label them as extremists as they did with the Ambazonian struggle. They want to transform the movement of change in Cameroon into an infringed organization that people will not be able to engage with in mainstream. They don't want genuine political participation. They don't want opposition to participate. They don't want that. They want to prevent Issa Tchiroma from participating in the next election. That is their target. They want to prevent Maurice Kamto and all the other politicians to participate. But they must show leadership. These individuals in the regime who don't even care about Paul Biya, they use Paul Biya. But Paul Biya allow himself to be used. They want to keep the status quo and are comfortable where they are. They have lost their villages and they have no hope to reclaim the trust of the Cameroon people. So they will use all tactics, issue arrest warrant, tie the hands of the Cameroon government so that negotiation, reconciliation, meaningful unity will not happen. These are people when even Paul Biya declared the Grand National Dialogue, they were against it. These are the people when Ambazonian groups declared for cessation of hostility, they rejected it. Issa Tchiroma must now walk a tight line. It is not just about doing what is popular or what the people want to hear. It is about doing what the people truly need at this desperate hour. And right now, the people need a path of hope, and also they need a better livelihood. It will require wisdom, it will require strength and courage. Even if it means negotiating or engaging with the current regime, because we must recognize that they are in hold of our state institutions. That is very critical for the survival and prosperity of our people and are recognized internationally. So sometimes we have no choice but to engage. And Issa Tchiroma should not worry about people calling him names, people making him labels. If we consider those things, we will not be here today. This is not about betraying principles. It is about recognizing the realities on the ground and working pragmatically for the greater good of all Cameroonians. Until we build, as a society, until we build the capacity for a more sweeping change to happen in Cameroon, because that capacity is not there. With the advice, with the leadership of Issa Tchiroma, there is a lack of that following up. There is a lack of that Francophone Mancho BBC on the ground to kick off something mighty. The Francophones are not yet ready. You see in their discourse, the blaming of Ferdinand Gongo is all a manifestation of their fear of Paul Biya. They are afraid of Paul Biya. So now they will tend towards audios that pretends that Paul Biya is not alive, he is sick, somebody else is doing it. It's not Paul Biya. It's all manifestation of their fear. They have not overcome that fear. So Issa Tchiroma, it is time for you to prioritize participation in the next election over everything else. Yes, there will be obstacles, there will be challenges, but you must face this burden as a true leader. Leader is not about just making people happy. It is leading them to the right thing, the right direction. We at PRAP believe that the path forward right now is engagement for preparation for the next election. We cannot abandon this message with these government institutions in the hands of these barbarians. We cannot afford that, and we should do everything possible not to do that. So now, to our people, To all the world, I have a message to you. Because some of the regime loyalists, after seeing this installation, they are saying that Paul Biya is God, he is chosen by God. I have a message to you. Fellow compatriots, fellow Anglophones, Francophone brothers and sisters, do not be dismayed. And also do not be fooled. Don't lose your sanity and accept what it is as what ought to be. My brothers and my sisters, be sure for this. History has never been kind to dictators who thought they are gods. Every tyrant who rose by fear and ruled by threats and fear and lies eventually meet disgrace. From the Pharaoh who enslaved people to Mobutu Sese Seko, you need to go to his village, which was once a pinnacle of power, is now in ruin. Understand this. Paul Biya is not God. Bad can never turn to good. Lies can never turn to truth. Look at the former strongman in Egypt, Hosni Mubarak, Omar Bashir of Sudan. They thought they were God. Even Idi Amin, they thought they were God. Their arrogance shocked the world. Look at Saddam Hussein and many others. All of them believed that they were chosen by God. The president of Sri Lanka, the president of Tunisia, they thought they were chosen by God. But when the wrath of their people caught up with them, there were no place for them to hide. Look at Omar Bashir. They look at the president of Syria. Where is he today? So, do not give hope. Remember that power built on lies, blood, and fear is never permanent, even when you can't see any way that it can come to an end. It is like a house built on sinking sand. The storm of truth always come around. Look at Sri Lanka. Look at Nepal. The rulers thought that they were untouchable. They never saw justice coming. Yet it came. Yet it came swiftly and unrelentlessly and changed those countries forever. Nigeria also was like that before. They have greater degree of democracy today. So do not lose hope for democracy and freedom. Do not. Stand firm on your principle and be humble. Today, some still call Cameroon, they want to call Cameroon, according to a comment in my section, they call Cameroon, they'll say, oh, Capo Daniel, you see, Cameroon is the new Israel, untouchable. Paul Biya is untouchable. I say to them, without fear, Cameroon is not the Israel of Africa. Cameroon is the shame of Africa. A once beautiful nation called Africa in miniature is today a nation that has become a factory of corruption, tribalism, and deceit, with the vast part of its youth and even civil servants running abroad to seek for better life. A country whose elite were once given scholarship to study abroad and they come back home to work, now sees its own doctors fleeing away for better life and for freedom outside of the country. A country where truth tellers are arrested, musicians like Longe Longe are tortured by state officials, journalists are silenced and disappeared like Martinez Zogo and many others, where priests cry Je suis dans l'eau and citizens are murdered without accountability. Yet some of the regime supporters claim that they have divine blessing. I think Hitler would have think that he also had divine blessing, even Pharaoh. They think that this nation is under God and under their beer God. Make no mistake, Cameroon is under satanic rule. If you want to clarify about this, ask Titus Ezwa, who was once part of them. For more than 4 decades, President Paul Biya has sat on the throne of power like Pharaoh in a dying empire. Cameroon is a dying empire, while the people are languishing in poverty and hopelessness. youth fleeing for survival, and millions of Cameroonians have turned into refugees and IDPs, something Ayijo would never have imagined. Yet, according to international experts, Paul Biya have spent a total of 4 years in Switzerland living in a hotel lavishly with his family. He has built a system where lies are rewarded. People who punish and instigate violence and provoke their own people are rewarded. Mediocrity is crowned and the truth is punished. That is the legacy of Paul Biya, a man who holds on to power even at the age of 93 years old. It's a sad tale that must be seen for what it is. To those who defend him with religion, I say this: you do not know God. You don't know God. Because God of justice does not bless oppressors. God is against oppressors and for the oppressed. God does not anoint tyrants to be in power. If Paul Biya was truly chosen by God, Cameroon would be a beacon for light and freedom in Africa, not a shadow of darkness and a subject for comedians. Cameroon would have been a paradise for its children, not a home for IDPs, not a president who cannot even recognize that there are 70,000 active cases right now of Cameroonian refugees in Nigeria who cannot go home. Cameroon have become a punchline for comedians all over the world, and increasingly so. In all platforms, Cameroon is being made ridicule of. Do not forget that. We may be powerless, but we should never give up who we are as human beings. We should keep our dignity and our pride and engage, knowing darkness and evil sometimes must live together. The wheat and the corn. Every empire of false hope will eventually collapse. The castle of deceit may stand tall for a while, but their foundation built on dust will crumble eventually, even under their own weight, without anybody raising a hand. So we must not turn sometimes to extremism, because that is what they want, so that they can ban opposition leaders. But time is the punisher of Paul Biya. You cannot reverse the time. And truth is our greatest weapon. We will keep on speaking the truth, even when we engage with them. The people may be silenced today. They may be sad today. But their silence and powerlessness is not an acceptance of fraud. One day, even the palace in Etudi, even the ground where they today inaugurate Paul Biya, those walls will cry for justice. The hands that once clapped for the oppressors one day will be that same hands that will slap the oppressor. So don't forget that. There is God, oh. There is God. And to those who think that this system will last forever, remember this. Even the devil also have his moments. The devil had its moments of glory when Jesus Christ was being taken up on the cross, tortured, fed with vinegar. But the cross ended his reign. In the same way, every corrupt regime will meet its own moment, whether it's a moment of glory or its moment when Christ will be resurrected. That resurrection is hope for believers. And everybody who believes in change in Cameroon should hold on to hope, that they can be hope for the future. Do not give up on hope. Do not accept corruption as a new way of life. Do not accept these people who Paul Biya have built this oligarchy to shield himself from the general public as our representative. But consider them for who they are. People who hold our institutions hostage. Cameroon's story is not over. The shame of today will give birth to the pride of tomorrow if we are wise. The day of reckoning will come eventually, and no amount of deceit can stop the march for truth. Even as we call for engagement, it is not an acceptance of the current regime as being a real representative of our people. It is an acceptance and recognition of our powerless state, that sometimes we have to make peace even in our situation of slavery, with the hope that one day we will be able to see our own Moses. The people shall rise one day, justice shall prevail one day, and Cameroon shall be reborn one day. One day, now one day, one day. Cameroon will not be the shame of Africa, but it will be a redemption of Africa. But we must do the right thing. And we don't call for violence. We don't call for violence at this moment. The devil wants violence. We are not calling for violence. We are calling for wisdom. We are calling for a way forward. We will hold our cards to our chest and wait for Issa Tchiroma. God bless you, everybody.